should you contact your specific person if you're manifesting them? Well, that really depends on a couple of different things. Let me just tell you, first and foremost, the most important thing is to notice how you're feeling, okay? I made a video about this a while ago and I just reposted it to give you guys some answers, because I get asked this, no joke, on the freaking daily, what I think about this ideology, right? Here's the truth. We don't know how the bridge of incidents are going to play out in our reality, meaning you might actually have to contact them. That might be your bridge. But you'll know if it's your bridge. It'll either feel really good or it'll come really naturally. Like maybe the last time you saw them, you forgot your sweater there, and that was 2 months ago, but you forgot your sweater there. That's a natural bridge, right? Like you're looking for your sweater and you're like, shit, where's my sweater? And then you notice, oh crap, it's not hanging here. When was the last time I wore it? Oh my God, the last time I was with Brian, I wore that sweater. I think I forgot it in his van. Oh shit. Crap. I want to use this sweater to my cousin's engagement party this weekend. Now I gotta contact Brian. In that instance, yes, absolutely you should, because that was not premeditated. That was a natural bridge of incidents that happened in your reality. And I'm talking to some of you that be planting some shit for an excuse to see them again. And I know, because a lot of us women do this, or at least we used to before we understood manifestation. Never try to manipulate or force the outcome. That will never get you what you want. If anything, you'll be met with a bit of resistance. A while ago, this was in my early days of manifesting, and I was in a similar situation. I remember I was manifesting my SP back, and we had gone out to dinner. And I manifested us hanging out, even though he was like kind of, not sure if he wanted to get back together. And I remember that night really pressuring him to hang out after, really pressuring him to spend the night. And I noticed after that, because I was pushing, trying to manipulate, trying to get the outcome, force it. Guess what? After that, I didn't hear from him for like a month, because even though I had manifested us hanging out for his birthday, I was trying to force us getting back together versus just trusting and having a great time. Honestly, in the beginning, things were going so great. He was grabbing my knee just like he did when we were dating. Everything was going wonderfully, but I had to try just a little bit harder. You sure you don't want to spend the night? You sure you don't want to do this? What about going here? I had even tried to premeditate going to like a church that he really liked going to, because I thought that would get me the result I wanted, but I wasn't trusting and going with the process. And instead of enjoying his company, I was trying to force shit to happen. I was being the old controlling me, the me that forgot that I was in control of my reality. Listen, I'm not going to be mad at myself for something I did years ago, because I didn't know any better, right? I didn't understand that everything was me and that the how was not up to me. I thought I had to, make things work and try really hard, just like we're taught in 3D reality. A lot of people struggle with this, and this is why sometimes you delay your manifestation or temporarily push it away or cause something weird to happen. Listen, sometimes weird shit will happen, and that's part of your bridge. You don't know, but never try to manipulate things to happen or force them. That is not you living in the end. And if you get triggered or you feel like they may not want to see you again, or your self-concept is shit, then just keep living in the end and revise. Remember, the best thing to do if you're seeing something you don't like is just go along with it. If they're like, I don't know if I can hang out next week, I've got a million things to do, just be like, oh, okay, babe, no problem. Or if you haven't heard from them in a while, go within and imagine that they are calling you. Live in the end of what you want. So many of you trip up to your 3D circumstances thinking that defines what is happening for you, and that it's not working. Remember, it might have been working for you a second ago, but if you fall down like a hole and get really triggered and persist in that for a while, then you're going to create that instead of, maybe that was your bridge. Maybe you seeing them out with a group of girls and a group of friends and dancing with them, that was part of their bridge. Maybe the whole time they were dancing with that girl, let's say you saw him and you got really triggered and you're like, oh my God, that means that they don't want to be with me. They're moving on. But in reality, they're dancing with this group of, with their friends, with this girl in particular, let's just say, and they're thinking the whole time, oh my God, this isn't Sarah. Oh, I miss Sarah. There's Sarah. In that moment, if you had just been like, you know what, that's my bridge. I don't care what I'm seeing. Your specific person might come over you and be like, you know what, Sarah, I've been thinking about you a lot. I miss you. I love you. I want you back. But maybe in that instance, instead of trusting, you fall into a state where you're like, they're going to cheat on you. They're going to leave you, blah, blah, blah. And a second ago, they're thinking, I miss her, blah, 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 right? But then they see you, but because you fall into a state where they don't want to be with you, they're like, oh, this girl's kind of cute. And maybe this girl wasn't even their type. This is how quickly things can change in our reality. But that doesn't mean you should be afraid if you have that moment. It's okay. You should just persist in a belief that things are always working out for you. So should you try to call them to make sure they broke up with the third party? Or now that there's rumors that they're fighting, should you check up on them? Or should you maybe send an extra text to see if they would maybe want to be your date to your cousin's wedding this week, even though they've made it clear that they're not sure they want to be with you? If you're having to ask yourself or someone else, then don't do it, because you most likely will not manifest an outcome you want. Remember, this isn't about trying a little harder, asking a little bit more, being a little bit more in your feminine, or using any type of manipulation techniques like not answering the phone or showing them that you can treat them the same way that they treated you. This isn't about payback. This isn't about getting them to, fall to their knees and really repent for the things that they've done. I mean, there's nothing wrong with getting them to beg to want you back. That's okay. But if you're wanting someone to suffer or you're having to do something, then you're not coming from the right mindset. And I guarantee you're not going to manifest what you want. We also should never wish harm on anyone, because would you want that in reverse? Think about it. They're your shadow. They are you pushed out. They are only performing the act you asked them to be when we don't hold them in the best light, because they are a shadow, right? We can't go up to a mirror and be like, hey, what's up with that janky hair style? It looks like shit. No, you're going to go, right? If you're noticing your hair's out of place and you look crazy, you're going to go up to the mirror, you're going to grab a brush and you're going to fix it, right? If there's knots, or maybe if your hair fell out of place or whatever. It's not about changing the reflection or asking them to change, because they can't. You have to change first. So you need to become the you that they're wanting to contact, that they're wanting to be in a relationship with, not trying to force or manipulate or control. I hope this answers your question. And another rule of thumb is, if you don't feel good about it, don't do it. If you have to question it, probably best to leave it alone. All right? Like and follow to learn manifesting the right way.